Right now, my pleasure to bring in an individual who will officially be named as the Superintendent of Schools. He is, of course, part of our Spotlight segment on Long Island. And we're talking about Kevin Koster as we welcome him into our program this morning. Kevin, how are you?
Good morning, Jay. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Good to have you here. It's a big day for you as you're getting ready to oversee really one of the island's largest school systems, spanning the South Shore communities of Mastic Beach, Mauritius, and Shirley. How do you feel about it?
I am extremely excited about this opportunity. It really is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And I'm very grateful that the Board of Education and Dr. Paul Cassiano, our current superintendent, have made this investment in me and entrust me with supervising this wonderful school district.
You mentioned Paul Cassiano, an individual who I believe is retiring after working more than 40 years in the district. That's a long time, and pretty much leaves the reins in your hands now.
Yes, I've been very fortunate to work directly for Paul and his senior cabinet over the last 8 years, almost 8 years. And Dr. Cassiano really embodies what it means to be Floyd strong, somebody who's a graduate of the school district, was a teacher, an assistant principal, a nationally recognized principal, assistant superintendent, deputy superintendent, and an extremely successful superintendent. I've learned a great deal from him. He has mentored me each and every day, and I have to tell you, the investment that he's made in me has well prepared me for this job.
Talking with Kevin Koster, he'll be officially appointed as the superintendent of schools for the William Floyd School District today. As you're an individual. I mean, it's not like you're new to the system here. You've certainly been involved. The district's assistant superintendent for elementary instruction, Kevin, and administration. And listen, it comes with a pretty good resume for you here.
Yes, and over 12 years ago, I started it at John S. Hallward Elementary School within the district as an assistant principal, and really over the last 12 years, I've had the pleasure of serving the community, hiring some extremely talented administrators, and some of the best teachers that we could put in front of our students. So, it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience.
And, you talk about students here, about 9,100 kids in the pre-kindergarten through 12th grade, more than 1,200 employees in the 5 elementary schools, as mentioned, 2 middle schools, 1 high school. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of overseeing. How do you do it? How do you kind of plan the time? Do you have an agenda? Where do you start here?
Well, the first thing is you must find people that are as invested as the Board of Education and as I am in the success of the students here. You have to find people that think smartly, that are out of the box, and are willing to invest a great deal of time in making sure that we're putting the best teachers in front of our students and that our schools are operating at the highest level possible. It really starts with developing a top-flight administrative team. I'm very thankful to inherit many of these top-flight administrators, from the current team that Dr. Cassiano has put in place and has grown over his time as superintendent. But it really starts with putting our best thinkers as our building leaders.
I always look at numbers, and we're talking with Kevin Koster, the newly appointed, as of today, the superintendent of schools of William Floyd. I always look at numbers, Kevin, because, to me, graduation rate is huge, and I look at William Floyd's here, which was 79% in June. That's a 20%, from what I read, increase since Paul Cassiano became the district leader back in October of 2006. What do you attribute to the rising numbers, and how do you think you're going to keep that going?
Well, Dr. Cassiano was extremely fortunate to have a very strong secondary team headed up by now current superintendent of Mount Sinai, Mr. Gordon Brosdale, and he took one step at a time, one child at a time approach to making sure that we were meeting the needs of the students. A 20% growth in graduation rate with a system that is more rigorous and more challenging than it's ever been before is an unbelievable accomplishment. And I learned a great deal on how to look at each student as how do we help them. How do we prepare a plan for them? How do they get the support from the teachers in the classroom, from their guidance counselors, from the administration at the high school, and from the administration at district office?
So much talk. I'm going to put you on the spot a little here regarding Common Core. You know, now as the leader of the district, I mean, you're going to be getting a lot from the parents, more so now, in charge. Your stance regarding Common Core, and how do you think this will be played out in the next few months?
Well, whenever you implement a new curriculum, which we've done many times here over the last 12 years, literacy programs, mathematics programs, social studies programs, science programs, you have to take a look at its merits. You have to take a look at the strengths of the program, and the Common Core does bring some strengths. It does, bring a rigor to the classroom. It's an integrated curriculum where you're not just teaching traditional literacy, you're combining social studies and science and math in there. And after you do a top-to-bottom analysis, which we're currently doing right now, then you make some decisions about what works and what doesn't work, and you rely on your experts. There are parts of the Common Core that are paying dividends in the classroom in literacy. It's a highly detailed program on the primary level. And there are parts of the Common Core that we're looking very closely at, and we'll spend a great deal of time this summer analyzing very deeply to find out if it really is working for the William Floyd student.
Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck. We'll check back in with you from time to time, and, don't be a stranger.
Jay, thank you very much for the time. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. It's Kevin Costner as he becomes the new superintendent of schools at William Floyd.